Hello and welcome to the Monster Sanctuary Tournament Circuit. This is the third place match of the 5th tournament of Season 1, Grid Draft. I am Smug-Looking Barrel.
I'm Flowing Jeffua.
And this match is between Dos Equis, who will appear on the left for the draft and on the right for the games, and Red, who is the opposite. Both these players seasoned at this point. We've seen quite a good performance out of both of them, so it's interesting to see how they fare in this tournament. We see some interesting stuff. Charge stack support grabbed immediately by Dos Equis.
Yeah, that's a very strong trio to open up the selections.
And Red is going to respond with some great debuff monsters. So Red gets the first pick for next pack, and I see Spinner is the monster that's immediately calling out to me as would be good. Red's going to snap that up, as well as get more debuff support in this Ice Blob.
Yeah, I think the Ice Blob would be really calling out to me if I already had Drakazul, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Dos Equis is going to grab a bit of an assortment. We have another good damage dealer in King Blob. So this next pack, Dos Equis is going to grab one of the best monsters, I think, in these tournaments, King Blob, who can just do so much, so many different things. And Red is going to grab some shock monsters, as well as a good damage dealer in Conko.
Yeah, King Blob is just so good. You can throw it on almost any draft team and be better for it.
We see Targot and Brutus in this pack, but there's no way for a player to get both. Red is going to take the Targot as well as Mad Lord, and we'll see if Dos Equis goes for Brutus. No, he doesn't. Going to grab some debuff ones instead. So these are some interesting drafts for both players. I feel like neither got like an amazing draft. An amazing, super cohesive draft, but we see Red going first, getting the with a really, really scary charge-based team.
I am a little bit surprised that that Red didn't go for the Fungi in that last pack, having access to Troll already and having some other good debuff monsters, but Targo is hard to argue with.
For sure. And gonna take this first turn to set up. Seemingly didn't have a knockout on this Fungi, which it looks like Dos Equis is going to use as a damage dealer. Argiev attacking to break protect, and here's the Fungi beating. Reasonable damage and combo, though Spinner's concealed passive helping it out here to dodge some of these hits. We see, I think Dos Equis was prepared for some other team variant. I don't think he was expecting DPS Fungi, because he doesn't have the max level of Spinner's fire attack.
Yeah, it seems like the preparation there was probably for Goblin Pilot and maybe Magnemoth more with all these ice moves.
That makes sense. Though Fungi is really frail, so probably level 4 will still be enough to take it out.
Yeah,
Fighting over his options. That Ice Spears looks like a knockout onto Argiev, and here's the attack, does take it out. So that's strong channel support down, and it means Argiev won't be able to easily break protect.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this Fungi is maybe geared more as just a really tanky static attacker, potentially, to take advantage of health focus.
Yeah, we see not that much damage coming out from this Fungi. Mokus has to go for a tackle to break the protect, and while there haven't been a ton of damage onto any of Red's mons, Dos Equis has been able to apply lots of debuffs to them. So, Red doing his best to cleanse those debuffs, but even after using 2 actions just to clear debuffs, pretty much, he still has 2 weakness debuffs on his Spinner. But that's not enough to say that
2 on the attack.
Yeah. Spinner benefiting a lot from killing Dance. Whenever he gets a knockout, he refreshes some of his charge stacks. So we see he has 41 charge stacks, even though he's been attacking every turn. And I think this is would be a good path to victory in this game, especially dodging that, dodging many hits from that Goblin Pilot. But it also means if Spinner misses a knockout, his damage will be severely nerfed.
Yeah, especially when you've got 2 charge amplifiers on the field with Beetleoid and Targot. It makes those charge stacks go even further than they normally do.
Probably quite a big part of Spinner's damage here. So he really needs to make sure he can knock something out, but that hasn't been a problem for him so far. And we see, I believe he has 4 weakness debuffs, but still, he's able to knock out that pilot, and we remember last turn he had 41 charge attacks, now he has 48, so he's slowly gaining them.
So it seems like this Targoat actually doesn't have full protect at all. It's just got standard protect.
Yeah, which I kind of like. Usually it's just your damage dealer you want to protect, and the regular protect costs a lot less mana and builds more combo.
Yeah, and
So
certainly with a lot of debuffs
here.
coming out.
Yeah, and that mana is actually a big deal right now. The fact that he was using the regular protect means he still has some mana, where he would probably have been completely out before. We see some chill debuffs, pressuring, and fungi has poison nerves as well. So at this point they disconnect, and Dos Equis forfeits, realizing that he was about to go down to 2 monsters. So into game 2, it is currently 1-0 in Red's favor, and we see both Red specifically is significantly changing up his team here.
Yeah, I like the look of this team. This is spicy.
Yeah, so we see maybe support Kongamato and damage dealer Dracozul. I'm interested.
Yeah. Why
Damage
not,
dealer
right?
Dracozul is going to take a big fire claws from Draco Grand and get knocked out immediately.
Yeah,
So-
we don't get to see the synergy between the two, but Kongamoto does have that reptile aura that would affect Dracozul and increase its damage.
Yeah,
So,
and I don't think you rarely ever see it, but he does get full offense.
it does,
So
yes.
you could apply some buffs onto now this Mad Lord, and they both have some debuff synergies. But it looks like this Kongamato is a combo builder trying to attack the enemy and trigger Proliferate to get more hits. And
Yeah, and
you
having
know,
access to that
reasonable damage
supremacy.
previews as well, considering it's a support. Lots of divas though coming out from that lava stream. Might be enough that Mad Lords can knock it out, and we do in fact see that. Unfortunately for Red, Mad Lord doesn't really get many debuffs from its attack, which means it's not able to trigger Mass Mystify and give it any buffs. So it's quite vulnerable here.
Yeah, Mustache just 2 debuffs, judging by the charge stacks it has on it now.
So Dark Shroud from Argiope is going to apply some blind and tether to the Mad Lord. Mad Lord resists debuffs, but the harmful stacks will still have their full effect, and it means it can't dodge whatever attack Goblin King is playing. And it looks like the Jewel Blast will take out Mad Lord. So Red can bring in his Troll here, and that can will be able to probably take out Goblin King in response, but we'll see.
It does have a lot of buffs on it right now.
Yeah. And a lot of Troll's damage comes from Death Blow, and no debuffs on this Goblin King. But even with no setup, that Boulder Toss is looking reasonable. Yeah, and we see even the Kongamato might be able to take it out. Goblin King is just so frail.
It'd be nice to see some AoE options here.
Yeah, it goes through the fiery slash onto the Scorch, and it looks like he's brought it down low enough where the debuffs can take it out, and the Boulder Toss just squishes this poor Goblin King. So, just like that, Red is able to even up this game. Now Dos Equis has to take a knockout here, or he'll be really behind. There's a Lava Rush. Ooh, but some unfortunate misses. That one agility buff that I think Troll got from Bounty for knocking out Goblin King, saving it there from what would have been a lethal Lava Rush.
Yeah, very, very nice to see your damage dealer dodge a fatal hit like that.
Yeah. And I think Dos Equis is actually in big trouble here because similar to something like a Goblin King, Magma Moth is very frail. And it even looks like Argiope could take quite a bit of damage from this fiery shots and then be finished off by Troll. Neither player has any possibility to revive their monsters.
Yeah, at this point, if you're Red, you just have to prioritize getting one knockout. It doesn't really matter which one you knock out as long as you take something out.
Yeah, it seems like his choice is Argiope. To me, it looked like he could have taken out anything, but is going to knock out the Argiope. And at this point, Dos Equis is in huge trouble. Gonna go for the Helping Hand, try and buff off his Magma Moth as much as he can. It has pretty good attacks and elements for the rest of Red's team. You know, could go for the Lava Rush. Ooh, some more misses, but it is able to knock out this troll. Red brings in his last, which is Crackle Knight, a monster we don't normally see outside of dedicated shock teams. I'm interested to see what attack he goes for.
Yeah, I think with the current game state, the most important monster on the field right now is Lava Blob. Or Ice Blob, I should say.
Yeah.
Because Magma Moth tends to struggle with its mana even at the best of times.
Yeah. So we see a bit of a support. Crackle Knight going for the Protect, trying to keep alive this Kangamato. And it seems like, another disconnect here, but Dos Equis only having 2 monsters forfeited that as well. So it is now 2-0 in favor of Red, and we'll go into Game 3. We see a couple of switch-ups from Dos Equis. He's going to bring in Brawlish instead of that Draco Grand, sort of not liking the fact that his Draco Grand died on the first turn, and Crystal Snail. And once again gets first turn, but Red is going to lead with this Mad Lord, and Kangamato is going to get punched in the first turn by a fish.
Yeah, I like Crystal Snail coming in here.
Yeah. I also like the switch up of bringing in Crackle Knight early, because having the Protect to help out this Mad Lord, because King Blob and Scorch do not want to be using their turns attacking, they want to be healing and supporting, especially since they both have Restore, but their mana gets punished easily, so they want to be restoring these chill debuffs. Forcing
Especially
one of
when
them
when you've got Brawlish as the attacker, you really want it to be the only one that's attacking, so it can get the bonus, 25%. Right?
That's very much true. Yeah, so we see the Tidal Wave coming down, but because it's an AoE attack, you know, not doing the full damage to one target, and thanks to Crackle Knight's Mass Protector, it does not take out Mad Lord. And we'll see what this Crackle does. It might be able to build up some combo with a Shocking Slash.
Yeah, that's the big question here, is whether you go for an attack and build some combo, or you try and keep your Mad Lord healthy.
We see the Lightning Bolt, which is kind of odd. Seems like he only has 1 level of it, and yeah, once again, going for the lower level skills. Still able to deal reasonable damage. We see King Blob trying to heal up, but he has Replenish, and which means he can't cleanse these debuffs, and not a lot of mana for Scorch, and not a lot of mana for Brawlish.
Yeah, we do see the Dark Shift of Brawlish here, which is a concession, I'm sure, to the chill stacks.
Yeah, you get some extra mana, I believe, from the dual wield and the Dark Shift passive. Ice Blob healing up the Mad Lord, and a bit of a stalemate here, but I think that favors Red, because these debuffs will be slowly doing damage every turn, slowly penalizing Dos Equis' mana.
Yeah, it's hard to say, because Scorch is pretty good against debuffs, assuming it has a Mega Restore.
Yeah, so we do see the Corrosive Assault able to cleanse a few buffs from the enemy as well, and Mad Lord gets a few buffs from Mass Mystify and is applying Bleed to the enemy with Blood Drive, though King Blob can quite easily get rid of that with Purify. Scorch is going to go for the Restore, get as many debuffs off of this Brawlish as it can, but Protect is still up. So Brawlish, not really wanting to attack into a Crackle Knight, has to go for a potion. Yeah. I almost wonder if he misclicked that level 2 Lightning Bolt before, because it seems like such an odd move to go for. But
Yeah, it might have just been in the wrong spot.
But yeah, the armor up might be good here, getting a glory buff onto that Mad Lord for extra damage.
Yeah, just turtling up behind more shields is good too. It's really hard to say which player is in a better position right now.
Yeah, so we do see the Shocking Slash We also see Cleanse. Crackle Knight also has Cleanse, so he's able to continuously remove these buffs, whereas Dos Equis doesn't really have that. But the best he can do is keep reapplying the buffs he loses. And he is slowly building up some charge stacks onto this Brawlish, so it might be that he's planning to just wait and build up charge stacks until he can get a wipe.
Yeah, going for a big tidal wave, or tectonic spikes, or something like that.
So, Ice Blob and Crackle Knight here, both a little low on mana, so this game dragging out. I don't think either player was expecting it to last so long, and thus the lack of mana on their monsters is starting to show. Igniting Stings could do quite a bit of damage to Scorch. So we might see that. We might also see just Toxic Slash or Shocking Slash for more debuffs.
Yeah, taking out the Scorch here would be good for trying to keep debuffs around a bit longer.
Yeah,
that would allow a Crystal Snail to come in. I'm not sure if that's a better position or not.
Well, looks like that is the position Red chooses. He's going to knock out that Scorch with the Mad Lord, and that's, shockingly, the first kill of the game here on turn 6. Dos Equis brings in his Crystal Snail, who can both passively cleanse debuffs on the team with Curse Breaker, it could buff up and shield its allies, and it can eventually threaten knockouts on its own with Volatile Shield. But once again, it doesn't want to break Protect, because it has to throw its shield at something to attack. And thus, this Crackle Knight is doing a fantastic job protecting this Mad Lord.
Yeah, there is the remote possibility that this Crystal Snail has been kitted out as a critical boon offensive support. It's unlikely, but it is possible.
Yeah. It would be a bit odd to bring that in here, though, because Brawlish already has all the buffs it needs. So I'm more expecting it to shield up and maybe threaten a knockout. One benefit that Dos Equis has that he probably doesn't even know is this is a full physical Mad Lord. We see the indicator on its magical attacks that it doesn't have any magic. So
yeah, that does bode very well for
reason,
Crystal Snail.
Yeah, and Crystal Snail, of course, resists all physical attacks. Usually the reason we see a pure physical build is to use Katana. Katana's just such a good weapon, but it only gives you attack. And Light Shift Mad Lord gets bonus attack, so Red seemed to decide that he could save some skill points and get access to a better weapon by only going for physical attacks. But it does mean that this Crystal Snail will be tough to take down.
Yeah, we are rapidly approaching infinity stacks at this point.
Yeah, first one up for Red, but doesn't seem like he'll really be able to make use of it here. Dos Equis has been very patient with his Brawlish. He has 51 charge stacks on it, and it has a ton of mana. He's been saving his mana using these potions, but he needs to hurry because the infinity stacks are going to come, and if he loses his Brawlish, he basically loses the game because he's invested so much time into it.
Yeah.
And if the Brawlish doesn't really do... if it doesn't do enough, I think it will have to get a full wipe to really be worth it. Then that
tricky if it's going for a tidal wave, because you're going to have a hard time knocking out the Ice Blob with the tidal wave.
Yeah. Like, maybe it has tectonic spikes. I don't think we've seen it use its ultimate yet. I think sometimes they run tectonic spikes.
Yeah, it gets... What's the other ultimate? Tsunami?
Yeah, that's Tsunami
that would have
and
the same
Godly
issue.
Strikes. So I'm not expecting we see Godly Strikes, because if it had it, I expected it to use it before. Like, that would have been easily enough to knock out this Mad Lord. So we see Ice Blob spreading the chill, both the cause of and the victim of mana problems. More combo being built up by Shocking Slash. And it does seem like Dos Equis' patience is going to pay off here. No kills predicted for Madlord. But that was a pretty scary Toxic Slash, and now King Blob is going to have to either heal itself or sacrifice itself, and it looks like he's going for the latter. So we might finally get to see this Brawlish attack. Protect coming up from Crystal
not to get more damage.
There's the tidal wave, and does finish off this Madlord. I wonder if it got a miss against the Ice Blob, because it wasn't able to break through even the Ice Blob field, and Crackle Knight barely survives.
Yeah, it did get the wound stack on there, so it got at least one good hit in.
Yeah, and 2 wound stacks onto this Crackle Knight would severely punish its healing, but Red doesn't have a healer anyway, unless he wants to use a potion here. Yeah, I think he was debating the potion, but sees 2 wound stacks and goes for the mass antidote instead. But Red has an opportunity here to maybe take out 1 or 2 monsters, because Draco Zool is coming in with 3 Infinity stacks, and got a sidekick buff from that Crackle Knight, which is very nice.
Yeah, juicy.
Yes, I think a few crits to get this knockout, and just barely doesn't. Brawlish healing up a bit from regeneration.
Might be enough for the Brawlish to come crack back with an AoE and pick up a couple knockouts here.
He's now going for the tackle to break the protect, and we're gonna see if this fish can heavy punch the Dracozool for the Godly Strikes. So he did have that the whole time. I think missed half of those hits, but was still able to knock out that Dracozool.
Yeah, so it looked like one hit was about 98% of the health bar.
But Troll, in addition to, scaling really well off of debuffs, if he has 4 Infinity stacks, basically anything can do high damage. So, one issue for Red is it doesn't look like his Troll has an AoE. I think, yeah, he has Beating and Boulder Toss, so no Corrosive Assault, no Flurry of Blows. He'll be able to get 1 knockout here, probably, but no more than that. Goes for the Boulder Toss, not this Brawlish.
That's not what you want in this situation.
Yeah, because especially with Draco Grand coming in with 4 Infinity stacks and getting buffed up by King Blob, it's probably going to be able to knock out this Troll. So Dusek, he sets it up twice, and Fire Claws does get break Crackle Knight's Protect. I almost expected him to go for the Ice Blob here, because Troll is going to take out this Draco Grand.
Yeah.
And I think if Red is able to take down 2 monsters here, I think he wins. Depending on whether this Crystal Snail can knock out one of his monsters. And he might have put... Dos Equis might have put him in a position where he's able to do that. Especially with the first attack from Troll predicted to knock out this Draco Grand. So, Ice Blob breaks Crystal Snail's Protect. And we see the Arcane Bolt finish off that King Blob. And build quite a bit of combo thanks to Chain Reaction. And it looks like Red is going to be able to get 2 knockouts here. So, Dos Equis attacking into that Crackle Knight was really did not pay off for him.
I mean, this Goblin Pilot could get a team wipe here.
Yeah, we do see the fiery shots, and not much damage, unfortunately. That thick skin, and just great toughness from Troll helping out here. Goblin King probably wish they had Long Slash, but most of them don't run it. So, Troll getting set up, and Corrosive Jabs is able to erase that Goblin Pilot, and Red takes it 3 games to 0.
Yeah, just very strong performance there by Red.
Yeah. It was interesting to see both players' adaptations. We saw quite a few monsters that you don't normally see. I think this is the longest I've ever seen a Madlord survive.
Yeah, Light Shift Madlord can be surprisingly tanky.
Yeah, usually you see them and then they get off a big cataclysm and then die, but Madlord has, he could protect himself a little bit with the debuffs, he can buff himself and get toughness from that, and if the enemy doesn't have a good monster that can break Protect, you can use Crackle Knight to keep him safe.
Yeah, the Crackle Knight adjustment was really good.
Yeah, really a hero of that game. Not only able to protect, keep his other monsters alive, he had electrolytes, so he was able to use shock to cleanse the debuffs on his allies. Crackle Knight helped a lot there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with that, we will see you all in the finals, which will be up hopefully very soon.